Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is Saturday, June the 30th, and we're in the kitchen today, and I'm going to make guacamole. So I want y'all to come along with me. But first, I want to tell you about a very good channel. This is a good friend of mine. She has a channel. It's called The Old Farmer's Wife, and all of the words are run together. I will leave it linked below. She and her husband, they live in Kansas. They're both retired. They live on a farm. And now they're doing traveling across the United States. Now, she and her husband did take they have a large RV, and they also have a camper van. Her husband, and his name is Max, her name is Barb. They did go across the United States from Kansas to Appalachia. And when they got home, she unpacked the big RV and packed up the little camper van, and she took out on her own. So Barb has some wonderful videos of the Midwest and a lot of Americana, things that you would never dream existed in the United States. She even visited the world's largest ball of twine. So y'all go over there and check her out. So let's get busy and see if we can make some guacamole. So I'm going to put you in the sink. Okay, so we're going to start with 2 ripe avocados. Turn you just a little bit. So you just cut them in half, and then we'll scoop the avocado out of the shell. Now, Jill and I went to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. I forget what year it was. May of 2008. So you just scoop it out of the shell like this. You know, we had thought about taking a cruise there, but Jill and I had taken a cruise to Jamaica in '06, and we just did not enjoy it. I know most people love cruises, but maybe it was the wrong time of year, because the cruise ship, it was in May also, and the cruise ship was full of teenagers, you know, on their senior trip and everything. So they were, you know, making a lot of noise and running all over the ship and vomiting everywhere. So we just did not enjoy it. So that was my first and last cruise. So we're going to go ahead. I don't have a potato masher, so I'm just going to use a fork and just mash this up. Now, I'm not going to mash it too finely because I like my guacamole kind of chunky. But I was just wondering if any of y'all have ever taken a trip to Mexico or a cruise to Mexico. If you have, just leave me your comments about it, your impression of it in the comment section. But we loved it. We just had so much fun. We walked into town, into Puerto Vallarta, and then we would sample the street food as we were walking. And we just really enjoyed it. All the food was delicious. We went to a couple of nightclubs there and danced, and we rode the banana boat out in the ocean, and Jill did the parasailing. I wanted to do it, but I chickened out. And then we went on a horseback riding expedition, and I'll tell you all about that in just a second. But I went ahead and chopped up a tomato. This is just a regular sized tomato. I did peel it because I didn't want a lot of that tough peeling in my guacamole. I have some cilantro that I washed and got all the sand off. Let me cut it a little bit. But anyway, we went on this excursion, and what it was horseback riding up a mountain to a waterfall. So, I mean, we were on those horses for a good hour, maybe longer, and then we had to leave the horses. We had to tie them up and leave them, and then climb the rest of the mountain up to the waterfall. Well, y'all, I had an asthma attack. I could not breathe. Oh, I thought I was going to die on the side of that mountain. I really did. But we made it, and we made it to the waterfall, and really when we went, it was the 1st of May, because we were there on May the 5th, and only to find out that they do not celebrate Cinco de Mayo in Mexico. It's an American celebration. But anyway, with us going so late, it was really past the season, and it was really too hot. We should have gone in March or April. So let me see if I can measure this. I don't really know how much cilantro I have here. About a half a cup. So we'll throw the cilantro in. And, you know, cilantro is a very pungent herb, so y'all just add it according to your taste, how you like it and everything. Now I'm going to cut up the onion. You can dice it on the cutting board, but I usually just cut it in my hand. You know, for most of my whole married life, I didn't even own a cutting board. I cut everything in my hand. So, I don't know, probably about a tablespoon of finely diced onion. You know, guacamole is so easy to make, and it's so good for you. All the fresh vegetables, and of course you can use, you know, chips to dip your guacamole with, or crackers. I can't really eat, I do eat low salt potato chips, but I have not found low salt tortilla chips. So I bought the low salt Ritz crackers. So that's what I'm going to eat my guacamole on. So here's just, you know, a little finely diced onion. Cut it up in my hand like I've always done. These are the Ritz that I'm going to use. It says hint of salt. So I'm going to add a teaspoon of lemon juice. You know, if you have fresh lemons, of course use the fresh lemon juice. I happen to not have any today. Teaspoon of lemon juice. Worcestershire sauce is my secret ingredient. I use a dash of it in nearly everything. So we'll put a couple of dashes of Worcestershire sauce. And Tabasco. A couple of dashes of Tabasco. Now, if I had fresh jalapeno peppers, of course I would cut one up and add that to it, but I forgot to buy them. So I'm just going to use about, let's see, I don't know if I should use 1/4 of a teaspoon, or we'll go with 1/2 teaspoon of the Tony Chacheries Creole Seasoning. I don't think 1/2 will be too much. So there we go with that. Then I'm just going to put a little dash of cumin. Not much. So let's just mix this all together. But whenever we did go on that horseback riding excursion, when we got to the top of that mountain, there was a little mountain retreat there, and the Mexican women were making handmade corn tortillas, and they had the machine out there so that we could participate and make them also. So that was a lot of fun. And they also had a zip line. And yes, I went on the zip line. I really wasn't scared. And it was a lot of fun. So that's what it looks like, but you know, I think it could use a little black pepper. I love black pepper and everything, so I'm just going to add a little black pepper, and then we'll taste test it here. Okay, let me open up my Ritz crackers. Now, like I said, I know this guacamole would be better with tortilla chips, but until I can find one that are low salt, I'm not going to risk it. So here we go. Let's taste it and see what it tastes like. Mmm. It's good. It's real good. Mm-mm. Wouldn't hurt to put a dash more salt. Anyway, I want to try to root the avocado seed, so I'm going to wash it. I used to root these all the time when the kids were growing up. But you just stick your toothpicks in the side of it. Maybe I should make a little hole with a knife, I think. So it is kind of tough. So you just stick your toothpick in the side of it. Then you want to put some water in a little container. And then you just kind of, the toothpicks are to balance it. And this is the part that will root right here. So you just stick it in your water. Now mine's wanting to turn over. Like that. And then I'm going to try to root some cilantro. So let's stick that in the water too. So we'll come back in a few days and see if that takes root. So there we go. I have a couple of pictures I wanted to show y'all. So that guacamole is going to be a real good little snack for me this afternoon. But while we were there and at the beach, the beach area there is called the Malecon, M-A-L-E-C-O-N. And out there on the beach was this young boy, about 18 years old. His name was Lewis. And he was stacking these humongous boulders on top of each other. So we kind of made friends with Lewis, and we he didn't have a tip jar or anything. So if somebody wanted to give him some money, they would, have to walk out onto the beach and give it to him. So Jill and I went to Walmart and bought a jar, and we bought some construction paper, made him a sign, and wrote it in Spanish, tips. And so we set that up for Lewis, and we bought him some gloves, and we bought him a shirt. And I did see him out there the next day with the gloves on, but he eventually took them off because in order to balance those boulders, he had to be able to feel, the rocks. And y'all can watch, someone did take a video of him, and it's on YouTube, and it's called, I think it's just called Balancing Rocks at the Malecon. And you can see Lewis out there balancing, and it's a lot of fun to watch. But Jill and I went to a Mexican fiesta. It was called La Iguana. And that's Jill with the sombrero on. And I have the little Mexican blanket over my shoulder. And then when we rode the horses, this is my horse. He got his head down there for the picture. His name was Pipian. and they made us wear hard hats. But if any of y'all are thinking about taking a vacation to Mexico, I would suggest Puerto Vallarta. Also, while we were there was an artist doing artwork, drawing, paintings for us. So I had him do this for me. And he did the little cobblestone streets, the flowers, and the little window there, and then the mountains in the background. But y'all, he took his little finger and dipped it in the paint, and that's how he painted this painting. So anyway, this video is getting too long, and y'all just check out The Old Farmer's Wife. Please give me a thumbs up, and just keep on coming back. Bye now.